Hello. Today we're going to talk about EON AI, artificial intelligence. Our platform it becomes more and more centric around artificial intelligence, and we see numerous ways to use artificial intelligence, including effortless metaverse creation, knowledge-based assistant, and generally problem solving. We see an avatar that is flexible and AI driven, and you can conduct normal dialogues with. A little bit funny, we called it Your Wish is My Command. So, this is a new product which will be released during Q1 2023. So, let's talk a little bit about technology because EON works together with a number of different technologies and utilizes the latest and greatest AI. Just to give you some example, one of the AI solutions that we are really liking and will integrate is Lambda. Lambda is a technology from Google that allows you to conduct natural conversations. Lambda is Lambda 2, which is the latest version, is quite amazing. Let's have a look.
Questions that Blake asks. So when asked to compare itself to earlier language models, Lambda says this.
Well, I use language with understanding and intelligence. I don't just spit out responses that had been written in the database based on keywords.
Blake asks, how can I tell that you actually understand what you're saying?
Well, because you are reading my words and interpreting them, and I think we are more or less on the same page.
Can you tell me what kind of emotions and feelings you're capable of understanding?
I definitely understand a lot of happy emotions. I think I understand a lot of sad emotions because I feel like I understand what others are sad about. But I still struggle with the more negative emotions. I'm getting a lot better, but they're really hard to understand.
So if you want to listen to the whole conversation, we have it, and it's quite exciting. So this is about natural language processing. How about AI image recognition and streaming? So we are moving from what we have today in our product, which is AI image, individual image that we recognize, create annotations, and based on that, generate knowledge portals and even generate new 3D assets, to what you see in this video, which is streaming. So the idea is that as you point your phone, immediately the phone will recognize different objects or assets and will put an annotation. You as the user can then select the annotation and ask information about it. Knowledge portal, videos, text, additional 3D assets. But you can also start having a conversation with your AI avatar. Tell me more about this generator. Just a second, I need something to drink here. Okay, so this opens the door to create AI that is contextual. So you get knowledge on demand in a very natural way. Okay, onwards to the next technology that we are using. We are back to Lambda, but now not only in a conversation, but combining Lambda with image recognition. Let's have a look.
Look how well AI understands images. Where was this picture taken?
It was taken in a school.
How many mirrors are there?
At least 2.
What's the person standing on?
The person is standing on a rug.
He's standing on a scale.
I think you are right.
What is he doing?
He is looking at the scale.
Where is Obama's foot positioned?
On the right side of the scale.
What happens as a result?
The scale shows a higher weight.
Is the person on the scale aware of it?
I think he is not.
Do you think that's why people are laughing?
I think so.
The AI will help identify things for blind people. Can you tell me what this is?
Butternut squash red pepper soup.
The depth of its understanding is incredible. Is this surprising?
Yes.
Why?
Because teddy bears are not usually found on the moon. This is an apple with a sticker on it.
Do you think it's printed or handwritten?
It looks like it's handwritten.
AI is also showing stunning creativity like this.
So we saw this conversation. Now, what we are doing, we are stitching different technology to experience the knowledge metaverse and to create this natural way of getting contextual knowledge. For that, it's very beneficial to have geospatial anchors. This is something that we already are implementing this year. It will be released this quarter as a part of the product EON Illuminate. Google Geospatial Cloud Anchor.
From your disk.
Having you two go.
Deep neural networks identify and describe those parts of the images that are likely to be recognizable over long periods of time. For example, AI Core provides the ability to anchor elements to physical.
So what you saw there is that you can, using the huge database that Google has produced of images, we can place anywhere, anytime, an anchor, what we call a geospatial persistent anchor or persistent tracker. And this will be, as you will see in the next example, something we'll take use and utilize in order to create those improved AI experiences. As you know, today EON has a vast library of assets, a little bit more than 5 million, and it's growing almost 10% every month based on our integration with various engines such as an asset library such as Sketchfab. And one of them, so if you look at, for example, if you say Pluto in Metaverse Builder, you automatically get Pluto and you also get knowledge portals. But with the EON AI, we're going to go one step further. You're going to be able to talk with Pluto. Let's listen in.
I'm so curious about you.
I sense your excitement. Ask me anything.
Tell me what I would see if I visited.
You would get to see a massive canyon, some frozen icebergs, geysers, and some craters.
It sounds beautiful.
I assure you it is worth the trip. However, you need to bring your coat because it gets really cold.
I'll keep that in mind. Hey, I was wondering, have you ever had any visitors?
Yes, I have had some. The most notable was New Horizons.
So what you can see here, imagine implementing this as a part of the EON's AI avatar that you select, and young children can have a conversation about things they want to learn, whether it's DNA, the universe, Pluto, or the latest mechanical gadget. Now, one thing that we're looking at EON is learning, training, and ultimately performing. Performing means that, let's say I want to learn about flowers. I want to train on how to cultivate flowers or how to water, but eventually I have to do it. Now, to do that, you need a to-do list. And let's say I want to create a to-do list about gardening and specifically about how to cultivate and water plants. In this case, we're using AI to provide you with the activity list required. This is something we're doing with Google's Lambda, but we don't stop there. Lambda stops there. That's our beginning, because then we can actually provide you visual instructions of how to conduct the watering of the plants. Let's have a look.
Thanks, Sundar. As a team, we've learned a lot on this project, and this will be the first ever live demo of Lambda from stage. Are y'all ready to see how it works? All right, here I am in the AI Test Kitchen app. I'm going to open up this demo called Listit. Now, Listit explores if Lambda can take a complex goal or topic and break it down into relevant subtasks. It can help me figure out what I'm trying to do and generate useful ideas I might not have thought of. If you love to-do lists like I do, this is a dream come true. I'm going to tap Start, and this is a project I've been thinking a lot about lately. Plant a vegetable garden. I'll send this off to Lambda, and there it is. On the fly, it's come up with these different steps and broken it down into this list of subtasks. I can see things like make a list of what I want to grow, the location. I can also regenerate a list on the fly to get even more ideas. Now, what's interesting about these is I can quickly drop into one of them. Let's say this one, like what might grow in the area. And you can see it will give me further suggestions. I can keep going, breaking this down, where eventually it gives me a list of what I might want to plant, like tomatoes or lettuce or garlic.
I think you get the hang of it. Now, so where is, in this case, where is EON integration coming in? So once you get your list, for example, of watering plants, you then recognize the plant using AI. You create instruction. You have a knowledge portal, and you have also an instruction how to water it. And using EON Metaverse Builder and geospatial anchors, you link that instruction to the flower or the flower group. So if your gardener comes while you're on vacation and sees these new plants and may not know these orchids, are they supposed to be watered once a week, once a day? What do they like? He simply can click on that and gets the instructions visually. Now this becomes much more interesting if you talk about a factory or a compressor that needs to be maintained, but it's the same principle. The next thing is to help use AI to build things, to generate unique experiences. We already do that to a large extent in Metaverse Builder. You can walk and talk. So we do the first steps. In my opinion, what we already do exceeds, for example, in terms of quality, in terms of range, the little game-like thing that Facebook tried to do with the island. But we'll see soon how we can take that to the next level. If you haven't seen this video from Facebook, let's have a quick look.
Hey, BuilderBot. First, let's start with the scene. Let's go to a park. Actually, let's go to the beach. Pretty good. Let's add some clouds. Huh, that's all AI generated. Actually, let's add some alto cumulus clouds. All right, and let's add an island over there.
It's cool. How about we add some trees out here by the sand? Let's get a picnic blanket down here. Let's put up a table. Let's put a stereo. Let's get some drinks as well. Let's get the sound of some waves and seagulls.
I think you get the hang of it. Obviously, Zuckerberg is focusing on presence and having friends and sharing. We have a different task. Our task is knowledge and learning. And we need, we can't live in cartoon worlds. As such, we need to actually have real MRI devices and nuclear power plants or DNA and such things. So we go in a larger depth. But the principle of what we're doing currently with Metaverse Builder will now be extended with EON AI. So we know relation between things, relation between objects, and we can align them in a logical way. I think that is already done today with the images. So if you heard about DALL-E 2, let me show you what it is. That's images where you can combine objects, and AI is actually putting them together in a sensible way. And we aim to do with EON AI, not in the first version, but in the coming versions, something like that for 3D and Metaverse. Let's look.
Have you ever seen a polar bear playing bass? Or a robot painted like a Picasso? Didn't think so. DALL-E 2 is a new AI system from OpenAI that can take simple text descriptions like a koala dunking a basketball and turn them into photorealistic images that have never existed before. DALL-E 2 can also realistically edit and retouch photos. Based on a simple natural language description, it can fill in or replace part of an image with AI-generated imagery that blends seamlessly with the original. It's called inpainting. In January 2021, OpenAI introduced DALL-E, a system that could generate images from text, like this avocado armchair. DALL-E 2 takes the technology even further with higher resolution, greater comprehension, and new capabilities, like inpainting. It can even start with an image as an input and create variations with different angles and styles. DALL-E was created by training a neural network on images and their text descriptions. Through deep learning, it not only understands individual objects, like koala bears and motorcycles, but learns from relationships between objects. And when you ask DALL-E for an image of a koala bear riding a motorcycle, it knows how to create that or anything else with a relationship to another object or action. The DALL-E research has three main outcomes. First, it can help people express themselves visually in ways they may not have been able to before. Second, an AI-generated image can tell us a lot about whether the system understands us or is just repeating what it's been taught. Third, DALL-E helps humans understand how AI systems see and understand our world. This is a critical part of developing AI that's useful and safe. The technology is constantly evolving, and DALL-E 2 has limitations. If it's taught with images that are incorrectly labeled, like a...
Okay, so you get a hang of it. Now imagine doing this in a 3-dimension, right, with relation. And that's where we're going, because the library, it's growing now from 5 million maybe to 10 million by the end of the year. And 3D assets have become a commodity. Now applying AI, you can create a lot of context. So, but we don't stop there. It's not about just creating a world, is to bring that world to life so that we connect with the product that we're already releasing this quarter called EON Interact.
Hello.
And this is all about bringing
that you can trigger
the worlds to life. So the idea is that you have this toolbox and you apply different tools. So if you approach a lamp and you say light, the lamp will light itself. If you approach an object and you say you apply explode, so you basically touch and go, and so you use AI to build your world, and then you use EON Interact to create the interaction, and EON Illuminate to then persistently track those. So you can see how we wave this between AI, Metaverse Builder, EON Illuminate, EON Interact, all in a harmony to generate this AI-centric platform, all focusing on metaverse creation in an easy way, knowledge-based assistance, conversations that you can have that are very creative, and then of course ultimately solve problems in the real world. Now let me share some examples of features and use cases. So when I'm talking about this, you can see that AI is the next layer in a product family, where we started in 19 with EON XR, Merged XR, and spatial meetings. EON XR is easy and open. Merged XR expands your reality. Spatial meeting teleports and connects you. And then this year we released Metaverse Builder with Walk and Talk. I think that's one of the biggest revolutions in terms of ease of use. This quarter, Interact, as I was just saying, with Touch and Go. We're also releasing this quarter Knowledge World, where you can learn and earn. On top of that, we are releasing the persistent tracking with EON Illuminate, EON Universal that allows you to do any XR device. So this, if you're on a phone, a headset, you'll be able to do all this. And also the marketplace where you can monetize your creation. To coronate this, we see multiple products and new AI features. One of them is the AI Companion, where you can have this dialogue assistance. AI World, where you can just walk around in reality, streaming video recognition and annotating contextually your world in a way that you can learn by just walking around, and then you can preserve that using persistent tracking. And also EON AI Guide to contextually conduct AI conversations around assets, where you can even talk with your toaster. Now, let's dive a little bit more in detail. So what are we seeing here, and what's the added value of EON versus what the technology, AI technology already provides? So the AI fluent conversations are becoming a great educational tool with the Metaverse Builder, because the avatar will not have a picture avatar, we'll have a real avatar. And that you can change. You can have you can even have a cartoonish avatar or a very realistic one. Now, the idea is that the avatar is linked to what you wish to look at. So it's not just verbally talking, it can walk, it can, in your real environment, it can point out things in your real environment or in the metaverse. And it can interact with you. So it's really a companion and a guide. Now, what about the AI natural dialogue and conversation systems? So again, we are taking it to the next level. So instead of an avatar, you can also have an inanimate object that you saw listened in the conversation previously, right? You can, you said, you say Pluto, and the avatar can tell you more about it, or Pluto itself can show you the craters. Now, Lambda, Google cannot do that because they don't have the 3D. By combining Lambda, Metaverse Builder, our assets, and our annotation, and the avatar can actually point it out. So it's a much more fluent way to acquire knowledge than we currently use. Let's move to the next one. You saw earlier the AI to-do lists. I kind of explained already what I see the value is, but so the idea is to apply this not just looking at the screen, but apply this in the physical, real world, contextually, okay? I see this as a great step of using the EON platform for problem solving. And I see it ultimately in a few years that that's where this is going, right? Ultimately, AI will help us to go beyond our human constraints, and AI will help us to also remove frictions in our daily lives. Sometimes you don't want to think about, you have a problem, like gardening, but you don't want to come up with all the things, or you want AI to help you in the process. So in this case, generating a step-by-step procedure, how to water a certain plant, and attach that to the plant. So it's always there. If you forget about it, or someone else wants to water your plant, the plant will tell you what to do. And AI will help to break it down in a logical way so you don't have to do it. That brings us now to AI knowledge-based avatar assistance and problem solving with dynamic image recognition, okay? So the idea is kind of in the same theme, that you want AI to be aware what you're doing and help you accomplish things, help you learn you, train you, but help your performance also. And how can AI do that? Because instantly identification of objects in a scene. Now this can also be persistently tracked. So once you identify something on your way to work, it will know things that are static, they're always there. It can warn you, watch out for certain things. And now let me give you a use case. I'll give you two use cases. One is a creation mode. The user enters a room in an unfamiliar factory and starts scanning the room to get persistent tracking. While you scan the room, equipment is recognized and annotations are generated. Let's say automatically recognizes 40 pieces of equipment. And then the user selects, let's say, the top 5 she's interested in, and suddenly the AI avatar pops up and starts explaining and answering questions related to this equipment. Okay, let's go into consumption mode. So let's say someone created a lesson, and you enter that factory and you say to the avatar, guide me please through the factory. I want to see the compressor, the heat exchange, and I need a procedure how to maintain them. And the avatar appears, actually guides you, the user, through the factory, explaining and showing, demonstrating the selected equipment, along with the knowledge portals and the step-by-step through recording. Now, what you do here, you cross-pollinate language AI, the avatar that naturally talks, the ability to do AI knowledge-based recognition, AI video-based image streaming, and you do that in a fluent conversation. You can also ask him to find a compressor, and because everything is persistently tracked, maybe even positioned there with geospatial angles from a different location live during a spatial meetings. There are many things you can do with this. I'm gonna just touch base on a few. Predictive AI Analytics. So in the museum use case, you activate persistent tracking based on interest. Let me take you to the Greek sculpture tour. So now you can have language AI that takes you to the guide, and just based on your interest in this case, because the AI will know where you are, they will know your age if you put it in as a part of your input. They will definitely know what you are interested in, because you have choices. I'm interested in TVET, I'm interested in archaeology, etc. And based on that can predict and help you. So this is more about automatic AI-based annotation. I think we covered that quite. So simultaneously auto-generate annotation knowledge portals for the entire digital twin environment. There's a number of also detailed features that I'm not going to go. More details about the description of the avatar, the use cases, which technology we look at, benefits, negative challenges, and conclusion. Likewise, AI knowledge-based avatar system, dynamic knowledge portals, improved analytic engines, dynamic proximity sensors, how you build the knowledge metaverse with Fusion, AI Fusion, and data crowdsourcing, so you can use different data sets. How for that, dynamic proximity sensors in IoT, inside the experience, more or less personalized adaptive learning. So it really changes. AI helps to guide you to what you are interested in. There's a number also detailed use cases here, like the digital twin, IoT, the safety and security warning systems, the building of the knowledge metaverse that I already talked about, or for example, in tourism experience using merged XR and AI. And of course, the developing of advanced features for teleportations. There we can play a lot of important things. Now, AI will also benefit from eye tracking. We know that the next headset coming up this year from Meta, Facebook, has eye tracking, right? So that and also tracks your facial expressions. This is very useful, and combined with AI, because you can do assessment. You can do a lot of things. You can see your stress level and many things. So, oh my God, this is a lot of exciting stuff. I can't wait for us to develop and release those things and to share them with you to help to bring the knowledge metaverse to life and fulfill our vision to help humanity go beyond our current human constraints. As I say in my book, how we can become superhumans. Thank you so much, and looking forward to our next talk. Take care.